Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Inside Gaming Extended Preview or Edition, whatever you want to call it. Either way, it's Christmas, it's Halo time. We're playing Halo 4 and I'm joined by Nexy from the Halo Council, and we're checking out some all-new footage of an all-new map called Solace. How you doing, buddy?
Adam, I'm doing great, man, and thanks for inviting me. This is rad.
No, of course. I wanted to bring the big hitters, and this is my present to you. I wanted to show off this all-new map to all the Halo fans, and while my gameplay is not MLG standard, I definitely wanted just to give you guys a breakdown of kind of the layout of this map, a little bit of where like weapon placement is, and just get kind of a feel and see if it reminds you of any older maps from previous Halos.
Well, already, dude, I noticed like I want to make the comparison to, what's the map called? I think they call it Requiem. So in the E3 trailer, the ship crashes onto this planet that we haven't seen before, the Infinity ship. And it looks just like that so far. Like the architecture looks a little Forerunner/Promethean with a bunch of organic stuff growing. So that's my first inclination.
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely a symmetrical map. So I think this is something that the pros are going to be wanting to play on. But at the same time, I'm actually kind of curious from your standpoint, with your background being, working with MLG and stuff. Do you think this is going to be something that's going to be big on the competitive scene?
Well, dude, anytime you give us a symmetrical map, we're going to play it, right? Like that's something that arena shooters really fall short on. Like, we just don't see enough symmetrical maps, and objective game types are always going to be better than Team Slayer, in my opinion, when you're playing for money. It's just the more factors you put into a game, whether it's capture a flag or hold the solid ball, is just always going to be better. So, and those game types play better on symmetrical maps, so that makes me really happy to hear that this is symmetrical for the fifth time saying it.
And it works a little bit, it reminded me a little bit of Lockout, which is one of my all-time favorite maps. Where it's broken up into 3 layers, but they are separated. So there are kind of like these 2 towers, which you'll see some footage later where I totally get I believe I was wronged. I was wronged by the game where I try to snipe somebody and they get the kill and I don't.
Well, I'll say this, dude. So rarely do you see a map with 2 snipers, and as I'm watching the footage, you have one in hand and another one spawned in front of you. So already, dude, 343 is doing things right. But to the point of Lockout, I mean, something that made Lockout so great are the lines of sight, right? Like, whether you're in one of the 3 areas, there's always a tower or an open space where you can see across the map. And that's kind of what made it so good, because the setups on that map meant that you could actually lock down an area. And you're kind of telling me you saw some of that on this map.
Yeah, definitely. There are. It definitely has that Bungie feel of multiplayer where map control is key.
Yeah.
But it feels like these ordnance drops or these power weapons are just so much more. You're so much more aware that they're there. And I think that's why you saw right there, I just picked up this, the new saw, and it's so in your face that it's right here, go pick it up, that I think you're going to see a lot more people kind of being driven to that area, and I think it just kind of speeds up the game overall.
And that's something I noticed 343 does really well. Like, I mean, the 2 sniper rifles that we saw are outside. And whoa.
Yeah, what
is that?
This is an old friend from Halo 2, the beam rifle.
Yeah, dude.
Yes, unfortunately, I'm no Hutch. I can't snipe worth a damn. But like, I'm gonna turn up the audio a little right here. This gun sounds beautiful.
All right.
It's got a, yeah. I'm gonna shut up.
It has like that wind-down motor feel to it.
It is all the guns in the game have a good weight, a good power to them, and the sound is just so good. I was talking to a fan the other day, and he was talking about how Halo 3's assault rifle was it sounded like a typewriter, and it's like the guns in this game are just so meaty. And actually, if you saw right there, that's we've seen it at PAX, but that is the turret sentry option they could do as an armor ability.
Yeah, we haven't seen it used effectively yet. I know it looks promising, but I want to know your gameplay, dude. You're not as bad as you say. What are you talking about?
It's one of the games I am kind of proud of to say, like, I'm not terrible as most gaming press. It's like a game I'm actually I'm proud to be good at. The 343 devs were definitely stepping all over me, but my goal in this whole my time while I was up in Seattle was I just wanted to get a variation. I wanted to show different weapons, like this all new Promethean. It's like an SMG type of gun. You notice right there, I put a lot of bullets in that guy, and he did not die.
Well, was that burst fire, dude?
You can do burst fire, and then you'll see here in a little bit, I actually get it to go into full auto. But it's still, I think they need to buff it just a little bit, because you have to put a lot of rounds into a guy just to do any kind of damage.
Yeah, especially if it's a weapon you're picking up and you're not equipping. Like, the secondary weapons that you equip are supposed to be weak. But anything you pick up, I mean, it's strategic to get, so it should work.
Yeah.
So, maybe they'll look into that in the future.
And then, here we go. This is a a throwback to Halo.
It returns.
Yes,
the bane of my existence.
The health bubble. And if you, once again, I just want to talk about sound design and the excellent job 343 is doing there. When you're in that bubble, you can hear every sound in the game, and it all sounds like you're just in this weird kind of futuristic tunnel.
Yeah.
It's unreal, the amount of detail that is going into this game, and just for the multiplayer, it's astounding.
Did you notice how dynamic like the music is? Like the background music will kick in or change when something important is happening in a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
So if the game ends, you get this crazy Rambo music, or if you pick up a flag, something else gets triggered.
Yeah.
To your point, yeah.
Yes. Oh, and it gets your heart rate going so much. There's a few parts where you can see me kind of screwing up because the music is just so intense, and it kind of threw me off. Now over here, this was towards the end. This is actually the overall gameplay is actually 2 matches I just kind of combined into one. But this is towards the end. This was the final game I got to play before 343 was kicking me off to go do some interviews. So I was just trying to play like Uber MLG. I was finally getting into a groove, but I was using this new thruster ability, or the it's a lot like the dive roll from Halo Reach. But I put these clips in here because I was actually proud of myself of using it effectively here, where it's perfect for getting out of the way for grenades. Now that you actually have a grenade icon, it becomes super helpful. Like right here, it's just getting out of the way. At first,
get out of jail. Well, I mean, it's not get out of jail free, but it certainly gives you extra options.
It definitely rewards people who know good map placement. And then this clip here, I just wanted to put in because I just wanted to note the fast reload speed, and that I don't know if something is glass or not. It's a new map. I made a bad decision, but actually, if you note the reload speeds, that's actually one of the perks you can put onto yourself. That's essentially the sleight of hand equivalent, if we want to make Call of Duty metaphors. But I believe it's called dexterity, as you can see there, and it makes you reload so fast.
And I think that's what I'm most excited for in Halo 4 is like, they keep saying, you could tailor the armor abilities to your playstyle. And when I've heard that before, it's almost been gimmicky. Mm-hmm. Like, Call of Duty does a good job. I thought Shadowrun did an excellent job. But Halo 4 does it so much better than Reach, at least from what I've played so far.
Yes, it is really a refinement. Everyone likes to note that Reach had a lot of problems, but I think 343 definitely took the best parts of that game, the experimental parts that actually worked, and they fixed things like armor lock, where now you have a hard light shield that, as you can see in the clip previously, you're not invincible. A grenade from behind will screw you up and will throw you off and kill you.
Yeah, and going back to armor abilities, when you were using the jetpack, or excuse me, the thruster pack, I haven't really seen anybody do it. You can jump in the air and thruster in midair. And change direction.
This is the stuff I'm always kicking myself because there's these press events are so rare, and I'm like, God, I wish I could have done that. Now I'm kicking myself, wishing, why wasn't Nexy with me? And we could have been just picking this game apart, but instead I just played horrible press and got trumped by 343 devs.
You played pretty well, but can I talk about map design for a second here?
Go ahead, please.
That's what you asked me to pay attention to, and again, that lockout reference was perfect, because look at that huge open area. And a point I started to make earlier was that the weapon placement is fantastic. You see the snipers are out in the open areas where they're harder to get to, and something like that Promethean assault rifle, I forgot what you called it, was near the doorway to the base. So it's logical, it makes sense, where in some of the past Halo games, you kind of wonder why they did what.
Right. It definitely feels much more refined. It feels up to date, more importantly, more than anything. I mean, right there, you can just see my ordnance drop that I put down earlier that I actually was... I tried to drop it on somebody, and it didn't work. It actually doesn't do damage when you call an ordnance drop that comes from the sky. But it's like I'm desperately trying to get back to it, and I couldn't. Instead, I just wanted to nuke combo a few people before I ended to be with my old friend, the BR, which just feels so good.
Hey, that gameplay was good. You got to give yourself some more credit.
Well, thank you. I feel redeemed. Nexy, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. For more Nexy and everything he does, go check out the Halo Council. Those guys are awesome, and we appreciate all the work you do, man.
Thank you.
I'm FPS Russia. Welcome to the Controller, Medal of Honor Warfighter.